I was looking up nachos on Google, and this showed up as Texas nacho. It's just a chip with cheese, melted with a slice of jalapeno. If that's a Texas nacho, maybe if you're in someplace like Delaware or something. But other than that, we're going to make nachos way better than that. Welcome to Real Easy Cooking with Robert. I'm Robert.
Ed.
And today we are making nachos. You ready to learn how to make nachos?
Yeah.
So there's a whole story on what nachos is, and we'll cover that as we're cooking on the history of it. But first we gotta start with a pound of ground beef. As usual, it's either chicken or beef, right? Because it's no pork. We eat some pork. We don't eat a lot of pork here, do we? Do we, Ed?
No.
No. Do you know how to ground beef? Do you remember?
No.
You want to help?
No.
You're just going to chop it up with the spatula. Ground beef is browning. This is when we would take the time to chop some onions, get our cheese ready, open a can of black beans, get everything else ready, like our taco seasoning mix, 2/3 of water, and our lettuce. Now, do you want to know how we prep the lettuce? Do you remember? Take the head of lettuce, you open the bag, you slam it on the counter. Do you want to slam on the counter? Want me to do it?
Both.
Okay, and it goes like this, and we're going to go straight down like that, okay? 1, 2, 3. Good job. Then when you flip it over, pull the core out. It should pull right out if we did it good enough.
Apparently not.
Oh, well, the top couple, but it pulls the core right out. You can throw that away. We peel off the outside leaf because it's icky. We don't want that, do we?
No.
No. Throw that in the compost. Do you want to cut the lettuce?
No.
Slice a little bit off. Now we gotta get the spaceship. You know what this is? I call it a spaceship. It's, you put your head of lettuce in it, and this clicks on it, and you put it in your fridge, and it's fucking amazing. Like, a normal head of lettuce goes bad in like 3 days to a week. It'll keep like 2 weeks like that in the fridge without getting all nasty. I don't know, I bought it at some kitchen store, like down in Appleton. Alright, gotta flip these over. So, I just flip them over and let them cook this way. We'll break them apart afterwards. So we still got time here to chop up this lettuce. Do you want to chop up the lettuce? Huh?
No.
No? You're just slicing it like this.
I'm a little kid yet.
Well, so, it's just a knife. You learn how to use it by using it. And you chopped it like that, then you can take it and make a couple big chops. And that cuts most of the pieces down into little 1-inch strips. 1-inch by 1/2 inch strips. Okay, we can put the, if I can get the cutting board up. Paper towel trick worked a little too good. And there's our lettuce. You want to chop these up? Chop up the hamburger?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're at least gonna pour the seasoning in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta wait till the hamburger's cooked first. So we'll cook the hamburger, drain off the grease if we need to. Then we add that stuff. We let it simmer for 3 minutes on lower heat, which should evaporate away all the moisture, but leave the flavor around all the meat. Okay?
Okay.
Kind of neat. That's how you make taco meat. That's how you make nacho meat. That's how you make any of these ground beefs that are seasoned. You sure you don't want to chop this up with the spatula?
Yeah.
If you do it wrong, you can get hot grease splattering on your hands. That's a lot of fun.
No.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's not really fun part. Am I getting at least all the big chunks? You see any more big chunks?
No.
No, right here's a few. We get those ones too. You didn't even look very good. Or do we need to get you glasses? Okay. Time for a seasoning. That's this jar here. Take that. Dump all of that right in here. It's gonna hiss when you dump it in, but that's okay. Just dump it in, don't spill it. Dump, 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 dump. Stop. Well, when you get just a little bit, you swirl a little bit and dump it fast. And you got just a little bit left, you swirl it and dump it fast. That way you get all the seasoning out. Alright, we reduce the heat to a low simmer. We let this set for 3 minutes. And then we boil off any extra moisture that there may be. Because after all, I did add a little extra moisture, and it's okay if you do. Now if you want really spicy, flavorful meat, use 2 packets of seasoning mix. It's the easiest way. Okay. Ready to start prepping the next part? And see, it's just a seasoning mix here. Just basically follow the directions on the back. And it's a name that shall not be named. Just the best. And just follow directions. Here's what we're going to make them on. We got to turn the oven on too. It's 350. That's what the most everything tends to cook at in an oven for some reason. There's a science to it. That's where most of the food that humans eat starts to break down and make into better mixtures at 350 degrees. So that's why you typically bake cakes and everything at 350. You want to stir this? You sure? Try it. Just use that in. Stir it around. You can move your thing a little closer if you want. Just don't splash it up on the sides. And then I can shake it. I usually keep breaking it up while I'm doing this. Looking for the big chunks to break them up some more. You just want a piece of cheese, don't you? You can have a piece of cheese, Wisconsin boy.
I love cheese.
Yeah? Has it been 3 minutes yet?
I don't know.
You weren't timing? Oh my god! What are we gonna do if you weren't timing? Luckily, time doesn't really matter. It's a minimum 3 minutes for it to start absorbing into it. It's really about thickening it up. Low simmer heat should take about 3 to 5 minutes to evap the moisture off. I turned up the heat so the moisture should disappear pretty quickly here. You can see all the moisture evaporating. They teach you about evaporation in school yet?
No.
Heat makes water leave stuff. Water turns to vapor. See the white vapor? You call steam, and it leaves. Kind of neat. So there's science with cooking. There's whole department dedicated to science of cooking. Laboratories do it. It's almost ready. I know, kind of boring. Want to stir some more? You sure? It's hot over here. You could stay over here and sweat like me. Don't you want to sweat like me?
No.
So this is another two-step meal to cook. We're going to do this first part, then we put it in the oven, and then we do a second part, and then we eat it. Right after we do the second part. So after we put this in the oven, I'll tell you the history of where nachos comes from. As long as you keep the food moving, it doesn't burn, for the most part. That's why I'm constantly stirring it. Keep it moving to get the moisture out without it burning. So that's kind of important, isn't it? And you see how now there's more flavor on the meat because there's less water. And the meat gets the color, the seasoning. Okay, we're going to turn this off. This again will absorb some of the flavor and this extra moisture as it cools down over the next few minutes. Move this from the heat. Cover that up so you don't burn yourself on there. Chips! I like Tostitos restaurant style chips. This is my favorite chips, but we also use in our taco salad. I'm gonna put some on there. What we're going to end up doing is spreading them out into a couple layers. Yep. An easier way is also if you just do it like that.
I love eating those chips.
You do? You can have one if you like.
Just as much as I love eating cheese.
Well, then you're going to love this because it's these chips and cheese combined. So you take them and just kind of spread them out into at least one layer thick. Some areas are going to be doubled, tripled. Unfortunately, some might be a little thin. Okay. Ready for this part? Take the meat. Use your spatula. Just kind of drizzle it all around. You really only need about a half pound of meat, but our meat containers and most meat you buy at the store come in 1 pound bags, so we'll have extra meat. Or we can make these extra meaty, unlike the Texas nachos. Or what Google calls Texas nachos. Okay, you want to add some beans now? We're going to do the same thing, you just dig a few out, like that. I'll get this side, it's a little far for you to reach. What do they look like to you? Black beans?
Yeah.
Alright. Look like deer turds to me.
To me, they look like black bean toy.
Now, we add a little bit of cheese on top and take a pinch. And yep, and just do like that, spread it around. Yep. I'm trying to get a thin layer.
Massive.
Just as long as you spread it around so we get a thin layer. You know why we're doing a thin layer? Because we want everything to heat up a little bit. And we're going to add more on top. Okay, that's enough. You're getting a thick spot there. And I think that's enough for a thin layer, don't you? Okay, that was still hot. Let's put this in the oven. So, nachos were invented in the 1940s, like 43 or 49, somewhere around there, I forget where, in a little town in Mexico. It's close to an Air Force base. A bunch of officers' wives came into the restaurant almost at closing time and threw a big stink because the restaurant had already shut down their kitchen because it was closing time. And they demanded food because, you know, their bosses, their husbands were big famous bosses on the base. So the cook, he goes and he whips up something. He throws some chips, some leftover taco meat, some cheese, some salsa and lettuce, and throws it out to them in a big plate or in a big serving dish in the middle. And they got their little plates and they dig off and they ask what it was. And he goes, who made these snacks? Where are these snacks? And he called them nachos because that was his name, was Nacho. He goes, so those are nachos. Nachos snacks because he made them. And so that's why we still call them nachos today, and that's what nachos are. And what the name comes from, named after the person who first made them, just to help out some Karens in the world. Now it's going to take a few minutes in here, almost. If we had a pizza oven, a smaller one that worked, we could put them in there. Or sometimes they have just cheese melters at restaurants, where you put the dish right in there and it melts just the cheese. It's like a little super hot box, like 600
I saw
degrees.
those.
You saw them, yeah?
They're like right up there.
Yeah.
They're basically about as tall as
Pizza oven.
Yeah. But I mean, it's right up there over
Yeah.
old not working kitchen light is.
The old not working kitchen light? Yes.
It works.
It works, we just never use it because it's kind of pointless. Got ready for these. They're done. Yep. That's how I like them. Okay, now you could just eat them just like this. With a little half melted cheese on them and stuff. But we can still make them better. First thing we have to add is some onions. Don't worry, I won't put onions on. This corner here will be your corner, okay? Does that sound fair?
Yeah. I'm gonna do 1 bite, 2 bite, 3 bite. Ooh.
More cheese. Yep, put more cheese on your corner.
I choose a lot of cheese on mine.
Yeah.
By a lot. I mean like a lot.
Couple sliced jalapenos.
No, not on mine.
Oh, you want extra on yours? Lots of peppers on Ed's. I got it. And your cheese, though, you got big clumps. You want to spread it out.
I want big clumps.
You don't want big clumps because it'll fall off of your chip when you go to eat it. Now, we gotta add some sour cream. Use the 2-spoon method because I don't have a bag or any other way to make a bunch of little dollops.
A dollop of whipped cream.
Of whipped cream? That'd be gross on these though, wouldn't it?
disgusting on these.
Okay, and set these off to the side. Salsa. This is mild salsa, so even you can have it. It's like chunky ketchup. It's the sauce that goes on. Now, all food needs some sauce, otherwise it's too dry to eat. And this is one that needs a little bit of sauce. Okay? Don't worry, we're going to put a lot more on me and Mom's half. And now our 1-inch lettuce. You want lettuce?
No.
Extra lettuce on yours? You
No.
want to eat just a piece of lettuce? How about a bowl of lettuce like a rabbit? You want to be a rabbit?
No.
Before we take it in the other room, you want to eat a piece now? You just creep in, grab a chip, and dig in. Oh, that's a cheese, huh?
Pretty good without beans.
You don't like the beans? Well, this part we can have without the beans, okay? But it's real easy cooking with Robert, and we're
Done.